share what I am currently working on because I have not shared those at all yet, and we can go ahead and tackle the first one, which I'm actually wearing. This is the cardigan number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I'm making it by holding 3 strands of Debbie Bliss Angel, the mohair, and this is heavenly. It's so soft. And it's going to be a cardigan. I don't have any buttons on it yet either. I just have one sleeve to finish. It's been hibernating for a little while, but when I saw the light, I just had to put it on for, for this one. My second work in progress is the balloon sweater by Petite Knit. And I am knitting this in Quince & Co. Finch, held together with a strand of Debbie Bliss Angel as well in their silver color. So this is a basic raglan. Its main attribute, as the name implies, are its big balloon sleeves. So I've knit this one, this is my 3rd time. So since I wasn't gauging, I didn't make up for the needle size, and I ran out of yarn before I could finish it. My 2nd time, I went back to my needle size and I sized up. That one swallowed me and I had to rip back once again. I let it set for a bit because I needed a break. Hopefully I will like it in its intended finished glory. But I just have a little bit of a sleeve left and the rest of the body. So we're not too far from the end with that one. So my next project is the Louisiana Sweater Junior by Petite Knit. I can't remember the actual yarn that I used for this because I've had it in my stash for a long time. So this was initially a white yarn that I dyed with avocado in a vlog that I recently did, and I will post the link in the cards. But I wanted to try my hand at dyeing, and my daughter loves everything pink. She only wants to wear pink right now. So I thought I would give it a go, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is a bulky weight held double, so I had it worked out because I had accidentally dyed one small batch too dark, and that's where you see the striping. So I just held that with some of the lighter yarn and then just tried to distribute that as evenly as possible, just to make it a little less obvious. So I'm not far from that being finished, and it might be a little big for her because she's a 3 and the smallest size is a 4, but I would rather her have something to grow into anyways. So in my intro video, I showed my Ghost Horses sweater by Caitlin Hunter of Boylan Knitworks, and I frogged that sweater recently. I just was not getting enough wear out of it. I didn't like the shape of it. The gauge might have been completely off, but the neckline was really broad, and there were a lot of issues that were just keeping me from reaching for it. So I'm going to try to find a solution for that. What I think I want to do is find another yarn for the base that's a little more comfortable, maybe make it into a raglan shape. So I may give that a try if I'm feeling brave. Hopefully I can finish up some of my works in progress though, just because I feel like I've had them on my needles for a year. In this case, this one has been a year, if not more. There's so many projects I want to start, and it just feels nice to have a clean slate. So I mentioned in my intro video that I'd been sewing for under a year now, but I didn't actually share any of my projects. So now is as good a time as any. So my first project was the free range slacks by Sew House 7, and I knit them up to be the looser, more culotte style, and they were a no-go, so I ended up tearing them out. But it was a great pattern, and one that I'm definitely going to do again. I think that they'll make some really comfy linen pants to not only wear around the house, but some nicer pants to wear out. And I want some more in that style, but I have to figure out some of the waistband issues. What I usually do, what I did with these last patterns was I just kept chopping it off at the waist and going down further, because I had a really low drop crotch when I just wasn't comfortable walking in, so I'll definitely have to redo those. Some that I actually got wearable results out of were linen CLYDE pants, and they really need a steam right now. I was really happy with the finished outcome. They weren't the perfect fit, but they were the closest that I'd gotten so far. It was a new fabric, very uncharted territory for me, but I really enjoyed using it. It wasn't as daunting once I actually started it, and they're more comfortable than I was expecting also. I did the same thing that I did with my first pair of pants, where I had too much of a drop crotch, and so since I'm still kind of starting out, I'm not well versed in tailoring, and so I just kept kind of chopping off the top and making the waistband a little lower, therefore raising up the pants, and that worked for me. There might be a better way. I'm sure there's probably another way that I just don't know yet, but for now, I'm happy with it. My next pair of CLYDEs are in black linen. They're so much more comfortable than I was expecting. My only problem is that the pockets are a little baggy, and they add a lot of bulk. And for me, because I'm so short, I'm only 5 foot, makes me look even shorter. So it's something that I'm grappling with. It's not something I hate, and it's definitely not a deal breaker. These are great utility pants, and while they may not work for me with nicer clothes, or if I'm like dressing up for an occasion, but just for your everyday casual, they're great. They're so comfortable. There's so much room in these pockets. It's unbelievable. I'm used to having to scrounge for pockets. I can have a full outfit on and not one pocket, and have to use my husband's pockets. So it's so nice that I have pockets that literally can fit my Kindle in them. But I'd say those are a success. I will probably make 5 more pairs in every color, and with pockets and without. But my most recent sewing project was the YARI jumpsuit hacked to look more like the CLYDE jumpsuit. And I did not get the pattern for the CLYDE jumpsuit, but I had seen people hacking the YARI jumpsuit, and I liked how that one looks on its own, but I thought I'd try my hand at hacking a jumpsuit. Why? I have no idea. I always bite off way more than I can chew, but I like experimenting, and I very rarely start a new skill or hobby without just trying stuff off the wall immediately. And the reason that I decided to do the CLYDE style before the YARI style was because I really wanted something really cute to wear over my knits. I wanted something that seemed comfortable but had wide enough openings to fit my sweaters in. I haven't worn it yet with a sweater. I have tried some of my sweaters and they ended up being too bulky, because in doing something totally new for the first time and totally winging it, I did have problems with the straps. Even now, I'm sure you can tell that they don't look fantastic. I was just trying them on, making modifications. Tried it on, making a modification. And I'm definitely going to have to work on that. I think that for now, it works well enough. I'll have to try wearing it more often. I'll have to try wearing it out. That's usually my big test, is actually wearing it out, because when I put something on at home, I feel so good in it because I just made it and it's pretty and special, and I don't have that same critical eye or critical sense to feel what's actually wrong with it. It usually takes me wearing it out so I can see, am I am I pulling on it? Like my pants, am I yanking them up constantly? That's usually when I get my real test. So I will let you know how that goes. And worst case scenario, I can always chop these off, and I have not made a pair of white Clydes yet, so this would be perfect for that. Also, I'd like to add that the pockets are fantastic. They're built onto the side panels just like the regular Clydes, but they're sewn on the outside, so there's not that added bulk. And I don't know if it's because these are probably a lot more petite than those ones, and I probably should have just cut smaller pockets for those, although I don't want to because they're amazing and they have so much space. But for some maybe nicer pants, I might go this route with the pockets because they don't add any bulk, which is also great because it's a jumpsuit. You don't want any added bulk. I think I'm going to try to find maybe a comfier yarn. I don't mind this. This is the Noro Silk Garden Light. It's the DK weight. And I think I also might just have to get used to the texture of sweaters. My skin can be kind of sensitive sometimes, so I might just have to adjust to that. But any places where it's actually on my skin, so mainly my neck, which is already a pretty sensitive spot, I feel kind of itchy. So it might just be a me issue. I like the look of rustic yarns better than some of the more satiny, superwash type yarns, but they do feel a little better to wear. So I am gonna play around with it. I've seen some really great modifications where the pattern ends up here under the horses, and it's more of a speckle along the body, kind of like in this pattern. And I like that idea too. I'm not sure if I like that with these colors because these colors just feel a little safer to me, but it's something that I'm playing around with, and if I use less of my colorful yarn, then I might have enough to make an extra one for my daughter. And who knows, if I don't like the end product for myself, I might just make one for my daughter anyways and find another use for some of this yarn. Something I have been really interested in is using my base yarn for that one. It's a DK weight, and maybe holding it double. I've been in love with the Pinguono by Stephen West for a long time now, and I've seen people use DK held twice, and that's something that I'm really interested in. But I think that mixed with maybe some natural and blush tones would make such a great Pinguono. That's something that I'm thinking about. I always have a million patterns that I want to do. That's one of my like end goal patterns that I think about and make plans for. I have this yarn that I was just talking about for a possibility for the Pinguono, and it's in a super bulky weight. But I think that might be a good option to make the Louisiana sweater for my son. We'll just see. Both of my kids are really hot-blooded, so they very rarely wear sweaters. And we live in Arkansas, so it's warm most of the winter, so it's not even the best place to wear sweaters. It'll give them something to wear when we go outside. We have to take advantage of the cooler weather because the bugs aren't so bad. So we'll use that as a little bit of solace for the lack of sweater weather we get here. But yep, those are my plans. And just like always, I'll keep you posted.